big Christian, Speaker of the House, Moses Mike Johnson, who Pumps and I have an ongoing conversation. Is he wearing blush, or is he humiliated all the time in front of the camera because he defends pedophiles? And according to a lot of sources in Louisiana, is a closet homosexual. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I read it on Elon Musk's website, the free speech website. And there's a lot of people that believe that this man is involved in Grindr and a lot of other things. But so we don't know what it is. Maybe it's a combination of blush, pumps, and humiliation.
I also think you add into lying. He lies nonstop, and he worships Trump instead of Jesus. So he knows he's disobeying the commandments. I'm just going to throw that into the mix.
Yeah, so it's a combo.
It's a combo.
Blush on the cheeks, humiliation in general for being such an abject pussy piece of shit. But here he is. We refer to him as Moses Mike, but here he is in a little temper tantrum. And he says he doesn't like being Mad Mike. Play the clip.
I don't like being Mad Mike. I want to be happy Mike. I want to be the happy warrior, but I am so upset about this. God bless America. We're done. Thanks.
You know what's so great about that, Mike? You have the power to make yourself not mad. You have the power to get into the solution to this problem. But your bigger problem is you're a pussy. And you won't stand up for your constituents. You only want to put your lips on Donald Trump's ass because you're a scared little tiny Zeta male. So, Mike, don't tell me about your problems and your being mad. Imagine not being able to pay your health insurance and feed your children. That's a real problem, Mike.
I think he wants to put his lips in a lot of other places as well, besides Donald Trump's ass. But that's another podcast episode entirely. Moving along, I talk about the trickle-down incompetence and the trickle-down stupidity that happens in this authoritarian regime. I believe now we are witnessing trickle-down dementia, Pumps. Play the clip of RFK Jr. in the Oval last night.
And that's bad, but also our parents aren't having children. Parents who want to have children do not have access. I have 7 children. I feel that God has blessed me with that, and I can't imagine how different my life would be if I did not have that blessing.
Exactly. My parents are not having children. Pumps, are your parents having children?
My parents are not having children. They are not.
Okay, this is this whole obsession with, there's an underbelly of this administration. You hear it from Elon Musk, and you hear it from Dr. Oz was in this press conference as well. And they're talking about people having babies. RFK Jr. is talking about having 7 babies. Here's the thing. It's a free country. You can have babies if you want to, or not have them if you don't want to. If you want a nation that it makes it easy to have babies, you fund childcare, you fund healthcare, you fund paternity leave, you fund maternity leave. And this country doesn't do that. They want you to breed. And it doesn't matter if you've been raped. It doesn't matter if it's incest. It doesn't matter what it is. In our state, you can't even get an abortion if you're raped. And then once that baby's born, these pro-life, breeding obsessed people will not take care. We do not foster a community where we walk the walk and talk the talk about this. And the Republican Party for decades has lied to the American public and said they are pro-family, when every single time they have an opportunity to vote for families, to vote for children, to vote for education, to vote for healthcare, it is a no, no, no. And then every single time they have an opportunity to vote for health insurance companies to make more money, they do it. Every time they have an opportunity to remove consumer protections, they do it. This political party is all bullshit. And all of this breeding stuff is, I believe, a backlash to a lot of women rising up in the workforce saying, you know what, I don't know if I want to have a child right now. I don't know if I want to do that, because we haven't fostered a society that says, yeah, you can have 6 months off paid to stay at home with your baby. In the United States of America, you have a baby, 10 days later, you're back at work full time.
Right.
That's unheard of in other first world developing countries.
And childcare is more expensive in some situations than people's rent. But I just find this to be so like these men, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Elon Musk with all these fucking kids, how much of your time is spent parenting those children, fostering their psyche and bringing them up? Fucking men, they want to dump it on women because patriarchy says women stay home and take care of the kids. And what that does is it puts women in a situation that they do not have control over their lives because of finances. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. can go swallow the rest of the glass that is in his throat, because until he is funding childcare, and here's the deal, until he is standing up for vaccines, that now we have a measles outbreak. If he's so madly in love with children, why don't you protect their health, you stupid dumbass?
Well, and it's pretty rich from a guy who has a trust fund that can choke a bull, who has never had to, he's probably never changed a diaper. All 7 of his kids probably had full-time nannies. And everybody in this administration has had similar, it's the richest administration in the history of the country. And they don't know what it's like to work a couple of jobs and be broke. And, you know, I have a nephew who's, 35, 36 years old. He has 2 small children. And the child care is more than their mortgage. And he just said, it just sucks. It sucks. I do pretty well. My wife does pretty well. We both work full time. We live paycheck to paycheck, and they make 6 figures between the 2 of them, but they cannot jump ahead because there is no government or business assistance to help American families that put in the hours, that put in the time. And then by the time you pay your health insurance, you're fucked. And so it's just real. I mean, this guy has the luxury of being a nut about science when he's not a scientist, because when push comes to shove, I guarantee you he's not going to go see some quack doctor. If he got cancer, he's going to see John Hopkins. He's going to see the top oncologist on the planet. All right. Now I just want to play for you in the same press conference they had in the Oval, what's turning out to be every evening sundowner hour. And sundowner is something that people with dementia suffer from. And the fact that Biden would misstep or missay something, and it would be covered wall-to-wall coverage, and that this guy 75 times a day exhibits frailty, dementia, horrible cognitive decline, makes Biden look like he was 30. That's how bad this guy is. Play the clip.
Currently, it's selling in Europe. It's Pergovirus. Pergovirus. And that's a sound nice name. Pergovirus. Why can't you name them nice, simple names?
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing, dipshit. If you went to your meetings, your prep meetings, the president of the United States has a whole flurry of people surrounding him that will prep for all of these things and go over all of these things. But Kanks just likes to freeball it. He likes to freeball everything. He freeballs fucking everything. I'm going to buy a casino. I know all about casinos. He bankrupts them. The other day, he was going on and on. He knows everything about a reverse bathtub. I don't know what the fuck is a reverse bathtub is, but this guy is not only stupid, and we know this because he always talks about other people having low IQ. He projects onto people what he has. And I guarantee you, Pumps, he took an IQ test at some point and the results were not good. And the cognitive test that he talks about taking all the time that he aced, I guarantee you he's flunked all of them. We know this because he will not shut the fuck about it, because it's an insecurity in him that he's trying to hide. His narcissism is trying to hide the truth of that. So he projects all of this shit. He can't pronounce anything. He clearly has dementia, and corporate media is off to lunch acting like this is a normal situation when he just indicted John Bolton, which was a warning shot to everybody sitting in his current administration. You act out, I'll indict your ass too. And it's also priming the public because he's going to start indicting sitting senators. That's next. That's what's coming next. All right. And as we talk about all of this, this void and this vacuum and the problems with healthcare, with childcare, with that American families are facing. Is the Democratic establishment stepping in and filling this void? Yes or no? Because if they don't, put this up. Marjorie Taylor Greene tweets yesterday, Americans are getting decimated with high cost of living and skyrocketing insurance costs. Many of them have zero savings and some are maxing out credit cards to survive. Tell me how it's America first to bail out a foreign country with 20 or even 40 billion taxpayer dollars. Hakeem and Chuckles. Listen to me. If you're getting outflanked by Marjorie Taylor Greene, this is the void that both parties left. You had corporate Republicans, corporate Democrats that believed in governing in a very incremental way. Kanks comes in, starts lying Ted, little Marco, and he just starts ripping them apart. So people felt, oh, this is anti-establishment. This is different. Biden comes back in, governs incrementally, doesn't take victory laps, gets a lot of great legislation passed, but there's inflation. He doesn't really address it. He doesn't address the issues with working class Americans. All of these corporate politicians seem to always give rhetoric, word salad, bullshit answers to the American public. And then grifters like Marjorie Taylor Greene will come in and fill the void. And I've been sounding the alarm bells about this little twat for about 3 months now. She's an anti-Semite. She is a Christian nationalist. She is a total fucking psycho. But much to my surprise, Pumps, she is not a dumbass because she figured out how to do the stock trades. She's made like $20 million or something. And now she sees the clip that I just played for you all of Kanks, frail, can't pronounce shit, sundowner hour in the Oval. The authoritarian can't stay together when the leader looks frail. And some people, and I'm just as shocked as shit as everybody else is, that it's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
No.
And she's stepping in and filling this void.
No, I was going to agree with you. Like, it's a sad day when you wake up and Marjorie Taylor Greene makes some sense, which we know then she goes off and she's a fucking nut. But the lack of leadership on this issue, like, why are we only hearing about Trump with the government shut down, building ballrooms, having, $1 million state dinners, taking joy in cutting funding to Democratic cities and firing Democratic workers. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene is the one sounding the alarm on Argentina. Are you fucking kidding me? It's not that hard.
And that message will hit really, really hard with working class Americans. That will hit very hard in flyover states. That simple tweet that she put out. If only there were a Democratic politician that could do this, that was mega popular, that everybody in the party would step in and help fill this void. Well, there is one, Zoran Mamdani. Hakeem won't endorse. Chuckles won't endorse. Cory Booker won't endorse. Why? Because they're corporate shills. They say enough, just enough to keep people that don't pay close attention to the news cycle. Right. Trump's crazy. And then they will not endorse this guy because their billionaire donors won't let them. All right, let's take a brief moment to hear from our sponsor. We'd like to thank Ground News for sponsoring our podcast listener. They are basically the Spotify of news, telling you who owns each outlet, where it leans politically, and whether you're reading original reporting or recycled messaging. Every single morning, Pumps and I get on the Ground News Vantage plan. Here's a prime example of how useful this is. A headline from the left says, pain for federal workers as government shutdown continues. And on this app, it tells me that this article has a very high factuality to it. A right-leaning news source reports it as follows. Vance, troops to be paid with tariff revenue during Schumer's shutdown. Tells me this is right-leaning, and it tells me it has a very low factuality. So if you've ever wondered why when you're talking to somebody in MAGA, they're spewing stuff that they say, well, no, I read it. It's a fact. It's because they're reading from news sources that have low factuality. So join us by going to groundnews.com/IHIP to get 40% off the Ground News Vantage plan that Pumps and I use every single day. They're subscriber funded and female founded. By subscribing, you're not only getting a tool we all need today, you're supporting our work here at IHIP News. That's Ground, GROUND news.com/IHIP. Kylie and Seth have linked that right below in the show notes. There was a debate last night, Pumps, and it was so good. So here is just a clip right here of Andrew Cuomo, a very Trumpian style Democratic candidate. He lost the primary. He doesn't understand that no means no. He is corrupt as shit. And he thinks he can come run a Trumpian style campaign to Democrats. And even the Republican candidates beating up on him. Play the clip.
Because I said to him, don't you dare, we don't need it, and he backed down, and he will again.
So that proves a good relationship.
Wait a second. The president is going to back down to you, Andrew Cuomo. I know you think you're the toughest guy alive, but let me tell you something. You lost your own primary, right? You were rejected by your Democrats.
Why
and
didn't
you have
you
a
send the National
difficult
Guard?
understanding that what the term
All
no
right,
is.
all right.
You're
Okay.
not going to stand up to Donald Trump.
I
agree with Curtis.
You're not going to.
Zoran, I agree with Curtis. Okay, you guys, and just bear with me on this. It gets even weirder. So we have a friend, his name is Hassan Piker, and he is a Twitch streamer, and he's super, super popular with like my 22-year-old son that's in law school, super popular with like that age group. Millions of people follow him, and he's a leftist. And Andrew Cuomo, so Hassan Piker is kind of a niche thing. Like I didn't know who he was until my son was like, hey, Hassan Piker's talking about you on his Twitch. And so it's a very niche thing, but Andrew Cuomo is so desperate. He is trying to get Mamdani to condemn Hassan Piker, who is, I guess now a kitchen table issue for Democratic voters. And I mean, like, he's a very niche, he's very popular in the world that he is popular in. But for Andrew Cuomo to drag Hassan Piker into this tells you he's got nothing. He's got nothing against Zoran, because Zoran actually talks about affordability, about childcare, about the needs of working class people, and about the needs that billionaires need to pay their fair share in taxes, and they can't control the fucking electorate and then send all of the hardworking Americans taxpayer money so that they can get a tax break and then send it to bomb Palestinian kids. Play the clip.
Oh, for a fact, almost.
Okay, stop. Let me tee this up just a little bit more, you guys. So right before the debate, Hassan has this comedian, I think his name is Giancarlo. He has him on his Twitch, and he says, I think Andrew Cuomo is going to bring me up in the debate. Hassan also, prior to the Kamala Trump debate, Hassan's political instincts are A+++. He said, Laura Loomer's on the plane with Trump. He's going to bring up the eating the dogs, eating the cats, and he called it. So here he is saying, I think Cuomo is going to bring me up in the debate. And this is before the debate starts, just like this is their pre-show. Play the clip.
I will be brought up in tonight's debate.
You think so?
As a line of attack. Have you seen the Andrew Cuomo press conference that he did on 9/11?
Oh, yeah. That quote. That's gonna be on your tombstone, brother.
He's going to bring it up, I think, to be like,
you really think so?
Oh, 100%. He's so desperate. He has nothing.
The assemblyman will not denounce Hassan Piker, who said America deserved 9/11. The assemblyman just said in his response, well, it depends on occupation. That is code, meaning that Israel does not have a right to exist as a Jewish state, which he has never acknowledged. That is from the river to the...
Okay. So Andrew Cuomo brings it up twice, and Hassan called it. He called it. And think about this, you guys. Like, Andrew Cuomo has nothing, because that's how popular Zoran is. All of this stuff that Zoran is some anti-Semite is total bullshit. He believes in equal rights for everybody, universal human rights. The problem with Andrew Cuomo and his donors is they think Israelis should get preferential human rights. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And so for me, as a person who's not religious at all, when I see human suffering, when I learned about World War II and the Holocaust, I was outraged. October 7th, I was outraged. The genocide that ensued, outraged. And so these politicians have a much sharper base within the Democratic Party that demands moral clarity on universal human rights. And so Zoran speaks to all of this. He is sharp as a tack, likable AF. And Cuomo, who is the biggest Trump acolyte on the planet, running as a Democrat, is so desperate. He's bringing up Hassan Piker, who I guess is a kitchen table issue for Andrew Cuomo in the debate. Pumps, I just thought you'd get the biggest kick out of that, considering how much we love Hassan.
I love Hassan. Hassan is smart. And here's the thing with Andrew Cuomo. I look at him like I look at all of these other people, and Obama said it far more eloquently than I. In my opinion, when it's over, it's over. When you lose, you lose. When you're out of power, you're out of power. You have to accept that. And what Obama said, basically, I'm paraphrasing, was so many of the world's problems are old men clinging on to power. That is Andrew Cuomo. And the one thing that stuck out to me, I mean, I love the Hassan Piker because Hassan Piker could make mincemeat of the arguments of Andrew Cuomo any day. But when he said, Trump and I have a good relationship, he won't come into New York City. I'm like, yeah, Trump said that about Putin. How's that working for him? Like, are you all that narcissistic? They are, is the answer. Yes, they are.
Okay, we're going to go a little long today because I filmed the earlier drop today because Pumps had to run some errands because she's leaving for the weekend to go see her son in Houston. And I wanted to make sure we get everything done. So 2 things. Number 1, I'm in New York. This is my rental. The landlord put these up. I have nothing to do with that. I'm, as an interior designer, I'm going to put a little sign up that says, this is a rental. I did not pick these light bulb flying sconces. Yeah, you see that?
With their feathers, that they're birds.
Yeah, I did not pick that. Number 2, I have to get Pump's reaction to Rafael Cruz's tweet about me. I covered it earlier, but Pumps, Ted Cruz tweeted about me. So as you know, Pumps, I was on All In with Chris Hayes, and J.D. Vance, sitting vice president, married to a woman of Indian descent, has mixed race children. He did not come out and just condemn these young Republicans that are talking about gas chambers, all this anti-Semitic stuff, all this anti-black and brown stuff. He basically said, get over it. Quit pearl clutching. And so I said, J.D. Vance is married to a woman of Indian descent. He has mixed race children. So to all of the MAGA voters out there, if this man will not defend his wife and will not defend his kids, do you think he gives a crap about you? Raphael says, this is disgusting. Leave his kids alone. How great is that? Is that not the greatest thing on the planet? I love it so much. Oh, and then here's another one. So I was talking, this is on CNN. I was on CNN later, Pumps, and I said, I'm a white woman that has lived in a red state my entire life. And I can tell you when I'm around white people, they test the racist water. They test it on people like you all the time. And Ted Cruz says she spends her time with Democrats. I guess he can't fucking read because it says, I'm a white woman that has lived in a red state my entire life. The pride of Oklahoma, what they say is not one county has gone blue. I'm telling you, and Pumps can tell you right now, because she was knee deep further into Republican circles than I am. Pumps, do white people test the racist waters to see how far they can take it in white circles?
100%, if they're not just straight up racist, like full stop. I mean, testing it might even give them too much credit. But here's what I want to say.
Okay.
This makes me so happy because that means that Ted Cruz's aides have seen you and are paying attention to what you say. And before you bring up Ted Cruz, obviously not on network TV, but you say he is the most unfuckable man in America, which we've modified a little bit because Stephen Jones gives him a close race.
Stephen Miller.
Oh, I'm sorry, Stephen Miller. Yes. So for Ted Cruz, he has seen you call him unfuckable, and he knows it's true. He fucking knows it's true.
And I talked about this on the other episode, Pumps. This is a guy who himself cannot defend his own wife, the mother of his own children. He can't defend the grandfather of his children because, according to Trump, Heidi Cruz is ugly and Raphael Sr. assassinated JFK.
Right.
And what does Ted Cruz do? He says, God bless Donald Trump.
In
And
tears.
He goes and kisses his ass because he is a pussy and nobody likes him. And let me just tell you this, Raphael. We have met a lot of sitting politicians right now. And we always ask, is it true that everybody hates Ted Cruz, even the Republicans? And the answer is always yes. They don't even take a breath before it comes out. That's how much you're hated, Ted. Everybody hates you. And so for you to step up and act like you give a shit about JD Vance's kids is so incredibly rich when you don't even go by your real name, Raphael, because you know that the base of the Republican Party is racist towards Latinos, hence the mass deportations now. And you may say, Raphael, oh, but Trump turned out all of these Latinos. He did. And you know what? He's underwater, I think, 40 points because it was all a ruse. It was all a lie. He'll deport anybody. He'd even deport your ass, Ted. If you stepped out of place, he would gladly, because I think his nickname for you, Lion Ted, still is so appropriate because he loves the humiliation exercise that he puts you through. Called your wife ugly, said your dad was a cold-blooded killer, and then you bent the knee to him. And that's what gets him off. So all you are, Ted Cruz, is a fluffer to a dementia-ridden, cankled piece of shit, and you can't even stand up for your own wife and your own kids. Thank you so much for tweeting about me. It made my day.
It made my whole day. And I just want to say this and I know our listeners are smart. You didn't bring his children into the conversation. You were making a very valid point. And it's like, Ted, you missed the boat, you stupid asshole. Unfuckable stupid asshole.
What I said was true.
It's true.
And I'll stand by it. JD Vance, in not condemning racism, is not standing up for his wife and kids. He should be, the sentence should start as a man who is married to a woman that has brown skin of Indian descent and a father of mixed race children. I condemn this in the strongest ways. The Republican Party has no space for this. But instead, he called the reaction pearl clutching. And so, I mean, everybody knows that JD Vance, I mean, he said, on the campaign trail that Usha couldn't help it that she wasn't white. But goddamn, I just love Usha.
I
mean,
love her, but...
Yeah. All right. We went super long on this one. Buy our book, Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches. Subscribe, like, and we'll see you all later.